Do you give yourself permission to feel your feelings and emotions? Most of us probably don't. If I asked you, do you feel stress each day? You would probably say yes. Do you feel anxiety at times? You would probably say yes. And if I ask you, do you have time? Do you create the time, the space to properly sit with your emotions and feelings? Everything that comes up, everything that comes through. You would probably say no. So why is this? Because we haven't given ourselves permission in today's society to be able to feel our emotions, to be able to feel our feelings, because that's weird and that's different, and you might be too sensitive. You may be able to relate to this. So how do you give yourself permission to start feeling your feelings? How do you give yourself permission to start feeling your emotions? Well, we have to go through a process of being comfortable within ourselves first. Because when we become comfortable in ourselves with our feelings and our emotions and we create that space for it, then we're going to be able to give ourselves permission whenever to feel those emotions and also give others permission to feel their feelings and emotions. And the reason that this is on my mind and I want to share it with you today is because yesterday I was facilitating a retreat with about 50 individuals and I was taking them through a breathwork practice. I was taking them through somatic breathwork. And these were a lot of tech professionals. I had some preconceived notions going into this that they may not be able to feel their feelings fully, and they may not be able to feel their emotions. And so I talked them through how to be able to do that, how to feel comfortable, how to give permission within themselves when the emotions come up to be able to release them, because that was the point of the somatic breathwork. We were focusing on obstacles that were coming up in their life that were keeping them from having the true career that they wanted to, and how to be able to start to let those go. And the way that you release emotions that you hold inside of yourself is you feel them. It's an emotion. So we have to be able to become comfortable to feel our emotions to be able to release them, because that's what you ultimately want to do. You don't want to have these emotions that come in and then get stored within the body, because that leads to anxiety, that leads to stress, that leads to depression and health issues. We want to have a way to be able to release them and let them go. So with these individuals, I led them into a meditation where they were able to feel at peace with themselves and one with themselves, because that's truly what we need. We need that connection. So then I guided them into the breath work, and within 5 minutes, they were starting to release. They were starting to let go. And what caused this was one person gave themselves permission to start to release. And when that one person started to let go some ahs, just letting go of what they were holding inside, that gave somebody else permission. Then that gave somebody else permission. Then that gave somebody else permission. And by the end, 50 people were just letting out all of their emotions. And it was incredibly beautiful to watch that they felt comfortable to just let out what they were holding inside. Just let it go. And that came because one person decided to give themselves permission. So what you can learn from this is that you have to give yourself permission and know that it's okay. We have to let go of all our preconceived notions that showing your emotions isn't strong, it's weak, it isn't right, it isn't okay. Maybe you grew up in a religion or a society where showing your emotions may have been dark, or it wasn't right to do that. Or it's too woo-woo. You can't do that. You can't feel your emotions. That's the society that we grow up in, especially just in school systems and the way that we're raised. If you think about it, like on an airplane, when a baby is crying, what does everybody want to do around them? They want it to shut up. They want it to be quiet. And also the parents, shh, be quiet, be quiet. That's what we're taught growing up. Don't show your emotions. It's not okay. It's not safe. So somebody else, it's not necessarily having somebody else tell you that it's safe. It's starting within yourself first. So how do we do this? Well, when I was going through a really hard time in my life, I didn't feel my emotions. I didn't show them. I didn't let them come up. And that's why I was having relationship issues. That's why I was having issues with my parents, with everybody around me. And I just felt like I was in this dark, stuck place. When you feel stuck, it's because there's emotions inside of you that have to be let out. And I wasn't letting them out. And then I started doing breath work. and I started to go into meditations. And then I was able to create a connection with my body where it felt safe to start to be able to release what it was holding in. And it's that connection with yourself that most of you don't have yet that is creating this disconnection between your mind and your body, where the mind comes in and whatever emotion comes, it doesn't allow you to feel it. It says, no, that's not okay. This is not safe. We can't do that. So what you can learn from this is we need to create this connection with our body and also get into a place where our mind starts to quiet, where it learns it's okay to feel emotions. It's okay for these things to flow through us, because that's what emotions want to do. They want to come into the body and they want to be able to be released. And how do we release them? Well, we feel them. So creating a connection with your body starts with allowing it to get into a quiet place where it feels safe to start to move these emotions out. Because if you're in a place where your mind is constantly talking and you're overwhelmed and you're stressed, well, the emotions are going to be stored within because you're closed off. So you have to allow yourself to open up. How you can start doing this is by starting to sit with yourself each day. This is what I did to allow myself to give my body permission to start to feel what it was holding inside. So develop a practice for yourself. This practice can be having a space for yourself, whether that's in your apartment or your home, a space for yourself where you feel comfortable to just be alone and be in a quiet place. It's kind of your healing haven, your healing sanctuary. That's what I like to call it. In front of where this camera is recording right now, I have my healing sanctuary, my place. I have a nice plant. I have a Buddha picture. I have some plants around me, and it feels like a safe space where I feel held, where I feel safe to process anything that's coming up for myself. So create this space for yourself. Maybe you put a picture beside you. Maybe you put a plant near you. Maybe you put something that just means something to you so you feel safe to be in this space and safe to feel whatever comes up. And really just the practice is, once you have this space, is to just sit in this space and sit with your breath. Just feel your breath moving in through your nose and out through your mouth. And you can do this for 5 minutes at first. Focusing on the breath is going to help you get out of your mind, the constant thinking mind, and have something to focus on. So if it's the breath, you just focus on the feeling of the breath as it comes in through your nose and out through your mouth. And you do this for 5 minutes. And then maybe you open up to 10. Then maybe you'll open up to 15. As you do this more and more, your body is going to get out of a state where it is overwhelmed and stressed, and it's going to be able to go into more of a parasympathetic rest and recover state. And that's where your body feels safe to start to bring up emotions that you've held. And then this is the practice. This is really where it is the most important, is when emotions start to come up for yourself, giving yourself permission. It's going to take practice. Giving yourself permission to feel them. The presence will allow you the space to feel these emotions. So when they start to come up, maybe it's sadness. Do you give yourself permission to shed a tear? Maybe it's happiness. Do you give yourself permission to laugh? Maybe it's anger. Do you give yourself permission to maybe let out a scream, let out a yell, or just punch a pillow? Do you give yourself that permission? The more that you give yourself permission over time, the safer and safer your body is going to feel to process emotions. Safer and safer to let them go. And this is a practice, like I said. So start sitting with yourself each day. Start doing it. The action steps here are to create your healing space, your healing sanctuary, and then to start sitting with yourself each day. Preferably first thing when you wake up in the morning, because you'll face the least amount of resistance then. And start doing that over time. And over time, your body will feel safe and have the space to bring up your emotions and properly process them. So that way, when you go throughout your day and an emotion comes in, maybe somebody cuts you off at a light, then instead of bottling that down, you instead, okay, I'm just going to let that out. I don't want to keep that inside. I'm going to let that go. It's not mine to hold. This is away. I'm done with it. Moving it out. Gone. And then it doesn't affect you anymore. And then you can start to go into this. Or maybe when a family member or your spouse or a partner pisses you off or makes you feel sad. All right, I'm going to fully feel this. Maybe I tell them how I'm feeling. Like, hey, that made me feel like this. And I'm going to express it. I'm not going to hold it inside of myself. I'm going to let that go. And knowing that that's okay. Because then when you do that, that also gives permission to other people around you. Like, whoa, Stacy's feeling her emotions. Maybe I should. Whoa, Jessie actually let me know that she was feeling sad. Something that I did upset her. Whoa, okay. I should recognize that more. Maybe I need to let people know how I'm feeling in a nice way. But you can see how once you start to do it yourself, just like it happened in the breathwork session that I did, then it gives people permission around you to feel their emotions. And then everybody is happy feeling their emotions because that's okay. So start to sit with yourself. And if you need any further help with this and you want to get into a breathwork practice that allows these emotions to come up, click the first link down in the description. There's a free 3-day training that will really help you feel your emotions and properly process and release them. I hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. And let me know down in the comments what you want to see moving forward. I'm sending you all my love and peace. And I hope that you keep living a beautiful, beautiful life. See you in the next video.